It's time to sip that coffee, get your mind right, and vibe with the queen herself. We're dishing out hot topics, wellness tips of the day, and things that make you go, Let's get this palace party started.
All right. Welcome, everybody, and happy Sunday to you. Listen, welcome. I hope everybody's doing great. I know I am. And I am here to talk Wendy, the Real Housewives of Potomac star Wendy Osefo. How do you say her last name? Osefo? Osefo? Y'all arrested for insurance fraud, which is a felony, right? That is a felony. And if you don't understand how insurance companies work, let me tell you something. Oh my God. Wendy just may go to jail. There's a strong possibility she's going to go to jail because insurance companies, now y'all know, they barely like to pay. Even like when we think about car accidents, policies, healthcare corporations, hell, let's go back to Luigi Mangiano, right? The whole notion of him taking out, allegedly, a CEO of United Healthcare because what? There's a disgruntled history, with patients. People are disgruntled about insurance companies not liking to pay or having to pay, even when they know they should, right? And if you think they're about to allow a Nigerian scammer to walk free, baby, you have no idea. You have no idea what Wendy is up against. And you know what? Miss Janice made a good point. She says she better hope that she's not deported. She better hope that she doesn't get deported. Because they looking for any reason. And baby, you gave them one in 2024. Listen, first of all, most of you owe NECA an apology. Oh, let's get into it. Come on close. Many of you owe NECA an apology. I've never gotten into the Wendy notion. Okay, we're not even talking about the insurance fraud of it all. It was just something about Wendy I just could not open up to. I was not a receiving vessel. And it was something about how she came in. She came in hot, in my opinion. I do believe it was the second or third season when she made her introduction to the franchise on the Real Housewives of Potomac. I didn't like it. I felt like she was a one-upper. She threw her credentials all in our faces. And I like a smart, educated woman, right? I love it. I loved it for her, but I felt like she was mishandling the credentials of it all. I felt like it was just something that was very sloppy about it, that was disingenuous about it. And some of you, y'all listen, I done fell out with some of y'all. I've fallen out with some of you behind Wendy. What is it? Osefo? Osefo, however, I'm sorry, and I'm trying to say her name correctly. I've fallen out with some of you. Some of you have told me that I don't like myself because of my dark skin, because I wouldn't praise and worship Wendy. Listen, let me just tell you, I keep it real. Many times my content is based on my intuitive instinct. It's very intuitive. And whatever hits I'm getting from people, personalities, I call a thing, and I just run with it. And I'm one of those content creators. I'm not going to back off because y'all get mad. And because I don't say what you think I should be saying because somebody's black, or because somebody has multiple degrees, or because somebody's a woman, or because somebody's a man. I'm going to just ride with it because my instinct rarely ever fails me. Now, it took some years. It took some years because, baby, y'all turned me every which way but loose. It took some years. Some of y'all have slapped the taste right up out my mouth behind Wendy. But I stood on my square. I didn't come down. Many of you call me a colorist. Baby, you call me everything but the child of God. I should get up off of here and go pray. I'm a wounded animal. I'm wounded by how some of you have treated me. Come to the front. Come to the front. Some of you have gotten blocked, removed from the palace, thrown out the gate by the mods and the guards because of your treatment of me. Now, some of you them fell out with me behind Wendy. And the entire time, I hate to say it, I hate to say, I told you so. I told you so. I told you so. Okay. So let us content creators moving forward do our thing. Okay. It's my job to get ahead of you, Willis. It's my job to see what you can't see, child. It's my job to go and survey the land and come back and report to the people. You see what I'm saying? Pharaoh, Pharaoh, oh, baby, let my people go. Y'all gonna let me go today. Y'all gonna let me go today behind Wendy. And I even want to get into the diabolical audacity that she had. Oh, we gonna talk about it. Hold on
I
now.
heard about you. I was waiting on you at the door.
Yes, I was waiting for you at the door. Now I couldn't get on it the first day because I'm here in beautiful Cabo San Lucas. I flew in to celebrate Black Girl Day off, but I'm ready. Today I woke up like Patti LaBelle with a new attitude, and I say, I'm gonna talk about it. I want to talk about it. And I want to talk about the diabolical audacity. Look at this picture that Wendy had smiling in this mugshot. I want to break down Eddie first, and then I'm going to shift to Wendy. Or should I start with Wendy first? Who y'all want me to listen? Welcome, Brit's Creative Corner. She says, good afternoon, Queen. I have been waiting on your commentary on this, honey. Eddie looks like he smoked a nice one. Or, and add a little of that Christina Aguilera on top. A little something, something, allegedly. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Happy Eddie. We can start with him. We could start with him, and then we will get into the diabolical of it all, why Wendy is smiling. I see you, Libra. So Eddie is tapped out. Oh, y'all ain't gonna like this. When I looked at this mugshot, I say, first of all, he's as high as a kite. He's on something, clearly on something. Okay, for a man that's supposed to be so successful, right, and have these businesses. If you notice in the last episode, the first episode, right, of Real Housewives of Potomac, go back and watch it if you haven't. We already talked about it over here. Did you notice that Bravo could only get maybe 90 seconds to 2 minutes out of Wendy and Eddie together? Here go Trey. Trey said he knew it all along. Trey said, I knew it all along, Queen. So right. If you go back and watch the episode, there was not much there between Wendy and Eddie at all. And I called it out, but I didn't stand on it too much because I know y'all love some black love, even if it's fake, even if it ain't right, even if it's toxic. The fact that it's black and it feels lovely. So I knew not to go there with y'all, but if you go back, Bravo couldn't even get a lot from them because it's nothing there. Let's talk about it. It's nothing there. And I want to break this down in the most sensitive way. It's nothing there. I think Eddie is tapped out. I think he's been tapped out. I think the marriage is very performative. And I think the moment he lost his family behind her, see that'll do something to a man. I don't give a damn how much you think he gonna ride for you, go against his mama for you. He tapped out. He pulled away because a man can only give you what he gives to his mom and his children. And if he's disconnected from his mother, many times, not all the time, and most times he's not going to be able to establish this strong attachment with you as his partner, as his wife, as his baby mama. So if you are smart, girl, if you are smart, wife, lady, whomever, you're going to encourage that relationship because you understand the wisdom of connectedness, especially if it's not toxic. And according to Wendy and Eddie, they both come from spectacular families, phenomenal backgrounds, right? So why would you not encourage that? The mama did not want Eddie to marry Wendy. See, she saw what I seen. In the words of Moses, mama seen it a long time ago. Sometimes these mamas are not jealous of you girls. They understand that you're low vibrational. Sometimes these mamas just be trying to save these sons from insurance fraud, felonies, 18 counts, 450K. Oh, you going to jail tonight. Mama saw Wendy was trouble. Mama understood that Eddie may have been marrying below of how she raised him and prepared him to be. Mama wanted the best for Eddie. And the moment that Eddie lost his family ties, which is horrible in African cultures, right? It's just not the thing to do. He was out there. He was out there on that cliff by himself. And Wendy swallowed him up. Eddie detached. Oftentimes, when people engage in substances for a long period of time, it's to go to a place. Let's go, y'all. I hone in on the psychological and behavioral traits of the Black experience. It's to go to a place where my wife can't take me, my hubby can't take me, or I just need to chill. My nerves are bad. You don't give me the right space, the right environment. You see what I'm saying? I'm not calling anybody bad. I'm not talking too bad about him. But if he was really, really enjoying Wendy and them kids, so that tells me that if Eddie is enjoying himself, happy Eddie, getting high off of his own supply, allegedly, there's a level of disconnect. You can't really connect with kids and your wife when you high all the time, or when you got a little Christina Aguilera on the table, allegedly. Okay. Eddie is tapped out. Thank you. To mask his resentment. Listen to this. I just saw it. Someone said they feel like there's a possibility. Eddie enjoys himself. There we go. Special K, to mask his resentment towards her. Okay. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, damn. This is what she hides on television. Eddie, according to her, is the perfect husband, supportive, got that money, got this and that. And it's not true. Tapped out, disconnected. And they have young children. Okay. I want to shift to Wendy. The smile and the mugshot is diabolical. Diabolical. Now, when you look at it and the psychology of it all, why would someone smile in a mugshot? If you think about it from a psychological aspect, there's many reasons. It could be nervousness. I don't get nervousness from Wendy. Wendy can put on at the drop of a dime. It could be defiancy, a defiant attitude, or it could be to control the narrative and to control what's going on in real time. Wendy smiled to give an unbothered look. Wendy smiled to put on for the public, to control the narrative. That's diabolical. She wants to project, in my opinion, I believe, an image of being tough, unbothered, or that girl. I'm in control. This is a simple mistake. This is a simple oversight. We didn't do that. And she's been doing it so long. But if you really look at this mugshot, this is the real Wendy. She's been lying so long, pretending to be. And I used to call her a poser. So she's a poser. What's a poser? Somebody that's pretending to be that girl, to live that life. And the entire time, to me, you didn't want NECA on the show because NECA really is working. Her husband really is a doctor. And eventually, we would have seen who the real Nigerian fraud was. That's why she didn't want NECA there. And you know what? Bravo, shame on you for allowing her to get in there and master that control and have that much influence and dictate who gets to stay and who gets to go. Wendy has hoodwinked all of you, even down to the colorism of it all. You remember the colorism narrative? And y'all got mad. I said, nah, there's no colorism. She's manipulating this dialogue to keep the focus off of her because they're all going at each other. And that was my notion. I said, they're all going at each other. They're all diabolical. They're all insulting each other. To the point that Bravo said, okay, well, if Wendy says there's colorism, and if, let's let the girls talk about it. They talked about it. And Bravo was clever. Bravo said, well, let's bring more dark-skinned girls in. That's how you got NECA. Now, Bravo didn't tell me this, but I honed in on the psychological and behavioral traits of the Black experience. So I started to watch Bravo. And at some point, you got to be very careful because some people are such master manipulators. You start following their lead. Remember, that's the reason that a person like this was smiling a mugshot. Why? Controlling the narrative. Wendy has controlled the narrative ever since she stepped on the scene. Karen saw through her. And I think Giselle saw through her, but Giselle got her own stuff going on, so she wasn't the right person to really be able to deconstruct this fake personality, this fake Neither was Ashley, but Karen was right there. Unfortunately, Karen's DUI overshadowed what she was attempting to present about Wendy. But however, Bravo drank the Kool-Aid, fell for the narrative, started to follow Wendy with this because, right, she's credentialed, she's schooled, she's arguably a good politician. We've seen her on different media outlets. So you would think that a person like Wendy would be correct. If they're okay, well, if Dr. Wendy says that there is colorism, then there must be colorism. So Bravo gave them the stage to talk about it. Then Bravo started to course correct very quietly, right in front of y'all's faces. Watch this. And incorporate more dark skin beauties. But if you watch Wendy's reaction to it, she wasn't having it. She didn't want NECA on the show because the colorism narrative was never real. She manufactured it technically, and she utilized housewives going at each other to say that there was colorism, but really it wasn't. It was to kind of keep the smoke off of her bag. So Bravo started to introduce right in front of your faces beautiful, darker skin women, as they should have, Trey, on their own accord, not hers. Wendy really didn't want darker skinned women there because she's picking a fight, got NECA kicked off, picking a fight with Kiana, thinks she's way better than Kiana. And isn't Kiana Nigerian? Is not her background Nigerian? Wendy don't want none of that there. And the only reason she can't give it a go with the other, oh, you see how she talked about Kiana's friend, and they went, I thank you. Q Catrice says you're on it. So even though Bravo was working to correct the offense that Wendy said was there on the show, Wendy still deconstructed every introduction of the new darker skinned women. Okay, if you go back and watch it, because she wanted to be the only token in the room. And if I start to put you up against qualified and credentialed darker tone women, eventually you're going to be exposed as a fraud. And guess what? It took a little bit of time. It took just a little bit of time. So she's smiling in this photo, but the smile does not reach her eyes if you look carefully. It's gone. It's empty. I don't think anybody knows who the true Wendy is. Go back and watch, I think last season, when her mom. See, the mom's responsible for this mess that we see on the screen. I hone in on the psychological and the behavioral traits of the Black experience. See, Wendy's mom indoctrinated this behavior, and she expects her daughters to perform. But watch this. Last season, Wendy met her mom for lunch, and the mom was upset because she didn't get her quote unquote allowance. Her allowance. And the allowance was only $500. And I thought, damn, at that time, Wendy and Eddie can't make a $500 payment. Mama said they was behind on her payment of $500. It was then I was like, wait a minute, what's going on? Also, the over-the-top clothes, y'all. Oh, Wendy can dress. I said, no, it's over the top. It's over the top. Shoulder pads looking like a bed full of pillows. It was just over the top. Now, I love the housewives do be dressing. Not necessarily Potomac, but a lot of them dress really nice. It was just something about hers that felt costumish. And the reason why I was over the top, because technically she don't really belong in this bracket. So when you really don't belong, you overcorrect. You overdo it because you really don't know, because that's not your wheelhouse. Kiana can dress. Okay, she's not Nigerian. Thank you. She is African American. Hey, first of all, I asked Kay, I said, "Is." That was a question mark, so thank you. But I said, "Is Kiana's background? Is she Nigerian?" Y'all gotta that was a question, but thank you for qualifying that she is not. Okay, so let me go back, Kay. Wendy's outfits were always performative to make her feel like she belonged. Even the girl, the new girl, Kiana's friend that was introduced said, "Oh yeah, ever since we was in school, Wendy was walking down the hall in suits." Now that's not appropriate. Who walks down the hallway in suits? So her mom has always pressured her to present as if they had, they were the haves, when in reality, they were the have-nots. They were the have-nots. And it's not so much that Wendy got caught up in fraud because we have a few housewives that have criminal histories and criminal past. I think it was a snooty, nasty, diabolical attitude towards everybody else that got people in a chokehold. Because she really adopted the character, right? It was the nastiness behind it. It was the sharpness, the turning of the nose, looking down at people when you knew damn well you were not that girl. You were not that girl. And I want to go through, child, this don't make no sense. I want to go through the court documents of what they've been charged with. But before I do, in 2024, Wendy and Eddie called the police. Y'all, they staged a robbery in their home in 2024. Wendy and Eddie claimed that their home had been burglarized while they were vacationing in Jamaica. They said that their bedroom was ransacked and designer bags and jewelry, including Wendy's diamond anniversary ring, were stolen. So, the police started to investigate, rightfully so, and do the right thing, but something just didn't add up. According to the police, when they looked at the scene, it appeared to be staged, okay? The entry window was unlocked, but there was no signs of forced entry. See, there got to be a little bit of pressure. If somebody, somebody got to tear up something or do a little something, there needs to be a little wood chip, a little bending of something. There was nothing. A prying of the window open, maybe with a car, everything was intact. Their ADT alarm, their Ring camera didn't catch anything, although it was active. No motion was ever detected. The house looked untouched, except for a few messy drawers. Now, you've been watching too much TV, so she opened the drawers and kind of threw some underwear around, some nightgowns around, messed up Eddie shorts and a few things. That's it. Watching too much Lifetime. And that's what happens when you think you're the smartest person in the room. You didn't think that those white people were going to take you serious and really do their due diligence of investigating to make sure they found the real crook that broke into your house and robbed you. And they pulled the receipts. They dug deep, not because they suspected you, because they were there doing their jobs as police officers. So they went deep, y'all, because this kind of thing never happens where they live, right? In these nice, ritzy neighborhoods. Oh, no, we're going to make this right. We're going to get all of the data from ADT. We're going to gather all of the data from Ring. And lo and behold, none of this substantiates your claim. There's nobody on camera. Nobody forced your way. None of your alarms or your sensors went off. The house looks great. We believe you, but something just seems off. And the court documents said that the couple filed 3 separate insurance claims for the same burglary. Traveler's insurance. Listen, this was premeditated. You're going to do some time. That means they plotted this. Follow me. They purchased traveler's insurance, paid 20. Okay, they purchased traveler's insurance. They purchased home site insurance, and they had jewelry insurance, right? Three different resources that they tapped into for the same burglary. So the traveler's insurance paid them $25K, including $4,500 for Wendy's ring. And then they turned around and filed a claim with the home site insurance, and they claimed $450,000 in losses. Now, let me break it. Let me put it in your face. Almost $500,000. Almost $500,000. If you think them white folks gonna let you walk off with $500,000 because you're Dr. Wendy Osefo, baby, you got another thing coming. If you think them white folks gonna let you walk off with $500,000, 500,000, girl, please, you finna go to jail. The Jewelers Mutual reported in that claim, she reported 57 stolen items. Now, I don't know if you're really listening to what I'm saying. You keep hearing me say she. She. I think she's the brains behind it. See, to keep up with the Joneses. Eddie don't have to compete and pretend to be married and be wealthy. She does. She's the housewife. She's the one that made fun of Giselle's house. She's the one that looked down. You remember Giselle's kids said when their mom wasn't looking that Wendy gave them a really nasty look. Oh, y'all. Y'all don't remember? And I said, ain't no way them little girls lying on you. Because they could have said that about anybody. Why would those little girls say when their mom wasn't looking, you gave them a really mean, nasty look? Wendy's the one that has to have the nice outfits. Wendy's the one that has to have the wigs and the makeup. Wendy's the one that told Kiarna, you must have done your own makeup. Wendy's the one that has to show up for different interviews. Wendy's the one that had an episode where she was trying to put together a podcast and couldn't go back. You remember when her team went and priced out the different locations and podcast studios? The first one she kind of cringed at. Why are you cringing? Big Bang Hank? That's the going market rate. That was another red flag for me. Y'all better go back. Do y'all not remember that? Beautiful podcast studio. Right in alignment with the life that you say you live. And you were repulsed by the price, and it really wasn't that much. It's right up to speed and right up to par for what you're trying to do. That's why I say it's her and not him. She is the desperate housewife. She's the one that needed to put on. That man probably would have been just as happy eating hot wings, French fries, behind the scenes, whatever they do, right? He doesn't have to put on. It's her. And I believe that she's the brains and the mastermind. And here's a crazy thing. Stop worshiping these damn people. Stop worshiping these celebrities. Stop worshiping these reality stars, because half the time, if the truth be told, you're in a better position than most of them. Many of them. Not all of them, but you're in a better position than many of them. You pay your bills. You good to go. You have more than enough. You can go out to eat. You may not have the lavish cars and the houses. But hell, when we really do the research, come to find out many of them are in debt, can't afford it, rewrapping cars, stealing, scamming. And that's why I say it's her and not him. And if we go back to what the police shared about, it was just something not right. Okay, not even footprints, dirty footprints. You know, a burglar is not going to just walk through the front door. He got to go through the side. He's going to go through the woods. It's nothing. It was a triple insurance hustle. One thing about insurance companies, let me tell you how they work. You can make a claim and it be a lie. You're still not going to go to jail. What, hold on. What do you mean, Queen Sheba? It's not fraud until they send you that check and you cash it. It's not fraud until they send you that. You can start off being fraudulent. You call the company, you make a claim, a fraudulent claim, and then when they say, would you like to move forward with the claim, you got 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and say, you know what? Let me think about it. That's not fraud. She took it to the finish line. You're going to jail. You will not take money money from an insurance company. If you understand who owns these companies and how they work and think you're about to sit pretty because you're a housewife, no, ma'am. And the court document said that the couple filed 3 separate insurance claims. Y'all, 3. That's greedy. That's greedy. I think Eddie had no idea. And I'm not making him innocent. I'm going all the way back to the start of that marriage. I think Wendy seduced the hell out of him, not sexually. I think she blew his mind. I think Wendy's been pretending for a long time. And I think that's why the mother refused to have anything to do with her. Still refuses to have anything to do with her. And y'all, I can only imagine what's going to happen. Because she had just sort of kind of made it right with Eddie's in-laws. They showed up for the party last season. Listen, this is how she slipped up, the arrogance of it all. Had the nerve to wear the freaking ring in a photo. She wore the same diamond ring that she reported as stolen after the quote unquote supposed burglary. The ring matched the appraisal photos from before the incident. You know, you got to prove to insurance companies, you got to have photos. So that's crazy. So that tells me, even though the insurance company went ahead and paid them out, there may have always been a question mark. See, don't people be watching y'all. That's what you don't understand. Watch what you say. Watch what you do. Watch how you treat people on social media. Watch how you pop off. You never know who's watching you that want to go way back and pull your coattail about something that they've always had a suspicion about. And it sounds like somebody, either the investigators or the insurance company, was just waiting for her to slip up. So then the detectives started to dig deep into the store and refund records. Something, and I triggered them to go back. I wonder what it is. I wonder what it is that triggered them. Either somebody snitched. You never know. It could have been a mama child. Because she did hang that allowance over their head. But anywho, the detectives decided to let's go back and to these stores. A Dior shirt that was listed as stolen was returned months before. So they're buying clothes. Listen, this girl is just as ghetto and trifling, buying all these clothes to wear in these episodes, only to take them off and and take them off and return them back to the stores. A Gucci wallet was bought in 2018. So she bought the Gucci wallet in 2018 and returned it for a refund, right? But listed it in 2024 as stolen. More than $20,000 in stolen items have been refunded. Fake, living a life. This woman is a fraud. Who returns over $20,000 in clothes and items? Fake, never had it. Let me swipe this card that I got on credit, go buy all this shit and take it back the next day, and then come back and spin the block and make an insurance claim. Fake, should have never been casted. Thank you, Toot. She could have rented clothes, living a freaking lie for years. Now they say 2018. Somebody real quick, Google for me. When did Wendy, watch this. When did Wendy come on the Real Housewives of Potomac? If somebody can just put the year, if you can Google it and drop it in the chat, she been doing this. This girl ain't new to this. She true to this. Been a scammer from day one. If somebody can just Google it real quick, let's see if she started scamming as soon as she came on that show. Let's see. Or before. I'm just waiting for somebody that seasons. Okay. I'm just waiting for somebody to drop 2019. Been scamming before she came on the show. Boom. Now you can't tell me. So the police went all the way back to 2018. That's how they did Diddy, y'all. They went all the way back. Y'all knew I was going to break it down for you now. I wasn't just going to give you, what's out here in the atmosphere. Y'all know we digs over here. This girl been scamming. So if the police went on way back to 2018. Imagine what she's been doing prior to 2018. You don't just wake up one day and start doing this, right? These are the things that she's gotten caught for. You know, when your grandma used to whip you and say, well, you whoop me extra. Well, that's the stuff that you didn't get caught for. So this is what she's gotten caught for. We don't know what other scamming she's done, what other money she's stolen. Okay. So she came on the Real Housewives of Potomac, but was scamming, according to police records, as early as 2018. She came on Potomac in 2019. Yes. Bravo Vivian said, my gosh, so that's not the only ones yes, that are not. She's a career con. That's why I said Eddie, she swallowed Eddie up. Pretended to be what she's not. She finessed the hell out of him, did she not? I'm not talking about in real time because they're both responsible, right? As husband and wife. But I'm talking about in the dating phases. And if you think about the Nigerian culture of it all, who is up to speed and up to par to marry your son or marry your daughter? That girl and her mama them came in pretending to be something that they're not in order to land this man. And that's why his mama refuses to speak to him. Okay. Her and her mom and her family are fraudulent. Nneka wasn't too far off and y'all crucified her. It was Ashley that said, hey, they're saying that your family is ABCD. And y'all had a fit, but they weren't lying. It was just the wrong people telling the right story. Mary Willis says, nobody tells it like you, Queen. Break it down. I am. So Wendy's been doing this. Now, let's get back into some of these receipts. Hold on. You bought a Gucci wallet in 2018 before you even came on the Real Housewives of Potomac. Returned that shit in 2018 and then reported it as being stolen 6 years later in 2024. Y'all, 6 years later in 2024. Now, how do you keep such an intricate and detailed record from 2018 to 2024? You are a professional scammer. In order to remember, you know what? Let me put that wallet on there that I had from 2018, and I'm gonna bring it in real time to 2024 and say it was stolen. And not only that, it's $948. Girl, how do you even remember that shit? More than $20,000 in stolen items have been refunded before the burglary, quote unquote, happened in 2024. You've been scamming. You've been getting money. You've been cheating and lying. And then you filed the insurance claim and then got some more money to the sum of $450K, damn near $500,000. And here's the email, according to the investigators, that changed everything. Shout out to the Reality Rundown. I'm pulling facts from them. They did great bullet points, so that's why I'm pulling from in real time right now. According to the documents, Eddie emailed Wendy asking if they could add more high-value items like Chanel shoes to reach their insurance policy maximum of $423,000. Let me share the screen. Watch this. I'm going to blow your mind. Hang in there with me. Here we go. Listen to the language. And I'll repeat it again. Eddie emailed Wendy asking, can we add more high-value items? See, that's what a son would do to a mother. That's what a child would do. Mama, can I add this? And I told you it was her. Remember, I just said, I believe she's the brains. I believe she's the mastermind. He didn't add anything. He asked her permission. She is the scammer. I told y'all that. I said he probably had no idea what he was walking into when he was dating that girl that was pretending to be something that she wasn't. Was a scammer from the day he met her. Didn't know. And that email became a key piece of evidence showing premeditated the intent to inflate the claim, the intent to fraudulently rob the insurance company. She's going to jail. And I don't feel no way about it. Let me tell you why. Because you've been doing it for years. And every now and then the universe, God, or whoever you believe in will give you grace. And I always explain grace like this. It's like a parking meter. Eventually, your time will run up. Your time is up. You've been doing this for a long time, and that clock has been ticking. This time, you're going to jail. This time, you're going to jail. You've given it a great run for God knows how many. We know at least 6 years. We know at least 6 years, according to the police records, that dates all the way back to 2018, right? You've had a good run. It's time to sit down. Just like Karen had a good run. People say, well, Karen, she had a good run. 4 DUIs. Eventually, the clock stopped ticking and her time was up. Okay. Now, the arrest, when deputies searched the couple's home, they found at least 15 of the same items that they claim were stolen. The Osefos were charged with 7 counts of insurance fraud. They're going to jail. 8 counts of conspiracy to commit fraud, those emails, and 1 count of false statements to the police when they called the police getting back from Jamaica. And at this point, I want to know whose cards are y'all swiping? Because we know you broke, and that's fine. We're all regular people, but it's the fact that you try to put on like you're not. So whose identity have you stolen allegedly to pay for all of these lavish trips? Because we know you scheming and frauding the hell out of insurance companies. You may not even be using your own cards at this point, and their bail was set at $50K. The why? According to prosecutors, they said the couple was dealing with substantial debt and allegedly staged a burglary to collect insurance money for financial gain. That's Wendy. Keeping up with the Joneses. And that's why she has such a disdain, in my opinion, for some of the women on the show, because those women really do live that life. Not saying the women are better than her, not saying the women are nice to her, but they really do live that life. They really do have that money. They really do make their own money. They're not out here robbing, scheming, and scamming. That's why she didn't like them. That's why she came in so hard. I'm educated, I'm this, I'm that. And even scammed to the point because she thought I really want to dig in her background and see what her family dynamics are prior to her marrying Eddie. Because where's your father? Your mother's so high, Sadiddy and Tootie, but where's your father? Are y'all really broke? And I'm like, listen. And your mother just puts on to socialize in these different, what do y'all call them? These different Nigerian cultures, right? Pretending to be something that she's not, so that she can be in value amongst these other women from Nigeria. I want to know, because here's the thing about it. She finessed Eddie, pretending to be something that she's not, and still didn't marry up. And if convicted, according to prosecutors, each felony charge could mean up to 10 years in prison and 10,000 fines per count. So we're looking, oh, that's a lot. Do you feel like they're going to do time? Do you feel like Wendy will have to do some time in prison? Y'all, this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning of the fallout. Y'all are just walking into the deconstructed, what's about to happen with Wendy. I don't think we have any idea about who the real Wendy is. And I do believe more things are going to begin to come to the forefront. I do believe there's a lot of insecurity there. I've always felt that. I feel like Wendy is a beautiful, dark woman, but I don't think she feels beautiful. I've always felt that. I'm like, it's just the silky hair, the wigs that are just over the top. It doesn't even match, right? Not tearing her down. And I always used to say, man, if she would tone it down just a little bit, she could give it a go. Miss Chanel, so you feel like they're going to plead to a lesser charge? I don't know if I don't know about that insurance fraud. I don't know about that. I don't know. I think somebody may have to sit it out. I could be wrong. Because here's the thing, according to the prosecutors, the motive was substantial debt. And if you have substantial debt, how would you be able to afford a criminal defense attorney to get you out of debt if the entire time the life that you've been presenting is indeed fake? So you're going to have to get a really good attorney. And now that the microscope and all eyes are on you, where are you going to get this money from? Samantha said Nigerians are naturally over the top. Okay. She's over the top, top, top. Now, I kind of want to get into real quick. So we got into like the bullet points, right? Um, Wendy's been fake to me with these fake stage family scenes, making the kids say yes and no, all of that. I mean, we can go all the way. It just didn't feel natural. It didn't feel natural. Even Ashley. I want you to pay attention to what Ashley had to say. And I know y'all don't like her, but if you listen to what Ashley said, she said, this is not new to us. It's new to y'all. Let's take a look.
You know what I mean? I'm just learning. In case there was some confusion, that's what we're doing around here. Okay? That's it. That's what we're doing. Just making melodies. Okay? All right. That was just a thought.
Hold on. That's a different version. So I have a longer version of where Ashley's saying, this isn't new to us. Wendy being a scammer is new to y'all.
No, we were not shocked. Yeah.
So she's telling the audience, listen, we've been up to speed, up to par on her being a scammer. This isn't new to us, it's new to y'all. Because let me tell you something. When you real, you recognize a fake that tries to penetrate your circle, penetrate your group. Even if, and I'm not saying the women are better than her. Okay, let's not get it misconstrued. But have you ever said, nah, he not a guy's guy. She not a girl's girl. She fake. She fake in the funk. It's just something about that piece of fruit that seems strange. So they've been peeped, the ladies, that something fraudulent about this girl. But Wendy is so sophisticated in her ability to debate that she was able to keep them up off of her for a number of years. Now, I see you, Samantha. You said Ashley ain't real. She not, but to a point she is. I mean, Ashley's truthful. Ashley had to get down for the get down. Ashley had to have threesomes and all kind of weird sex just to bag Michael Darby, okay? And at some point she got tired of that. So at least Ashley has embraced her truth. Yeah, she's like a gnat, an irritating fly, causes a lot of trouble, but she's not pretending to be something that she's not. Thank you, Helen Rosenthal said, white collar crime, hell yeah, they're going to jail. Yes, you are, especially messing with an insurance company. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. But watch this. Let me let this play out. So Ashley says, this isn't new to us. We've been new this. Zen Wen is in the pen.
Lord have mercy. I know. I'm keeping her in my prayers and all of that. All right. I love y'all. Have a good night.
Yeah. This is ridiculous because this could have been avoided, in my opinion, from Wendy. This could have completely been avoided. Hold on. Let me click this one. Give me 1 second, y'all. Here's the diamond ring that Wendy had the nerve to wear after reporting it's stolen. That's a level of arrogance and narcissism. You see, had the nerve to wear it, playing all in them people's faces. And the only reason why I think she had the nerve to wear it is because after a while, she probably got comfortable with her behavior. I think y'all are looking at the current time of today. Oh my God, Wendy just got arrested October 9th. No. In order to have that level of audacity, you've been doing this for a long time and you got really, really comfortable. And this slip up just cost you or may have cost you your freedom. And everybody's saying, why would she do this? She got comfortable, y'all. When you've been doing it for a long time, you don't look at your house as a crime scene. I remember watching like the first 48 or whatever, on just, those murder mysteries. And they said when criminals get so comfortable in their house, doing crimes or whatever, and investigators come in and look at it as a crime scene, sometimes it's easy for them to be able to say, this is what happened. This is why we believe it happened, because it's hard for a criminal to think outside the box and look at themselves like an investigator would. So that's why she wore that ring. She wore that ring because she's been doing it a long time. She's gotten comfortable lying. She's gotten away with it a long time. And from a psychological aspect, when somebody behaves a particular way, and you notice it or you're offended by them or whatever that behavior is, that's not their first time doing it. People only do what works for them. I hope you get that. People only do what works. If it don't work, we don't do it. Y'all feel me? Are y'all here? If it ain't working, they not doing it. They'll try something else. All right, here we go. I want to play this. And I want you to, this is a video where a content creator is interviewing Wendy and he's concerned and asked her about the break-in that she reported. Here we go.
I forgot that in April, your home was broken into or something. Was this during filming that this happened?
I think it was right before.
Okay.
Like, literally before.
If you see how she keeps looking to the left, she's lying. Keep going.
Camera went up. It happened because my family was away on spring break. It was our spring break trip with the kiddos. And I was just so heartbroken. Like, I think a few of my first initial scenes, I'm just a little bit uneasy because we had just been
Y'all.
violated, so to speak. It was the worst thing. It's so unexpected, especially since from my vantage point and from the investigators' vantage point, it was targeted.
She's lying. The investigator said it seemed off from the beginning. There was no mentioning of it being targeted. And how she's twisting up her mouth, looking, shifting her eyes to the side, pretending to make eye contact, but not really making a lot of it, landing her eyes at like key moments, performative, acting. Give her an Oscar.
Really?
Yeah, because I've lived in this neighborhood for, a long time, but since the neighborhood has been in inception for over 20 years, there has been no burglary.
Child, until you and your scamming ass husband started bringing trouble. She just said it out of her mouth. Not my word. She said, this is a great neighborhood. There's no crime here. No burglaries, no nothing until I made that false ass police report.
Yeah.
Did you see how he looked at her? And I don't think he knew that she was frauding and a scammer then, but he just probably felt like, okay. Too much detail. She's lying. What is the history and the inception of the neighborhood going back 20 years have to do with anything? She's lying.
Oh, like nothing. And so it's so heartbreaking. And again, like going back to my earlier statement, where at my core, what centers me is motherhood. My first thought was my kids.
Mhm.
Part of the reason why I live where
You see her looking up.
I live is for their safety, for them to have ample, acres to be able to.
And the whole time you was the crook. I'm centered on motherhood. Their safety is important. But the whole time you the crook. You are the criminal. The whole time it's you. Doing and saying too much. Lying. Could have just said, yeah. All that detail, I hope it matches up with what you told the insurance company, because now you talking way too much. Hold on, y'all. Look, she said it. Am I lying? I want to protect my kids. From who? You the crook. You're the one that staged the robbery. Girl. Girl, you sound crazy as hell. You in the wrong industry. You should have been in Hollywood.
To run, play, enjoy, free of anything. And when someone comes into your home, which is such a sacred space, and violates you in that way, you start questioning
Lying.
things. So
Just lying, using buzzwords, sacred space, violates you. This is scary to me. Somebody like this can tell a lie on you and get your ass put in jail. Somebody like this can lie. This is beyond stealing. That girl, he asked her one question and she told a whole story. That's dangerous. My grandma used to say, if you lie, you'll steal, and if you steal, you'll kill. She the crook, and then got a story to support. She didn't know he was going to ask her that. And on cue, fired off. Y'all, that's crazy.
I'm just glad that we are okay, we're safe, and we are able to move forward from that as a family. But man, that was definitely gut-wrenching.
And that's something you have to process too. That's not something that you just, okay, it happened. We've locked the house back down. No, like I think the mental recovery from something like that must be kind of difficult.
Absolutely. And now my house is like Fort Knox before, but now it's like complete Fort Knox, like nothing. Even how we vacation is different. How I post on social media is different.
Lies, because you wore that ring. Just lying. Not even tracking her lie. How I post is different. No, it's not, because you wore the ring like a week later. No, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's altered the way I move. And, you want to be naive and feel like no one is watching you. You could just live life freely.
You watching you. Ain't nobody watching.
But unfortunately, that is not the case. So it has changed a lot of things.
I think this is just the beginning. I think what's happened with Wendy, I don't think Wendy realized she's probably triggered a deeper investigation. If they went back to 2018, I wouldn't be shocked if they decided, well, let me take it a little bit further. It would only make sense. If you're law enforcement, if you're a detective, they're probably just as shocked as we are. Well, let me go back and run any other claims that may have been submitted prior to 2024, prior to 2018. And I'm going to just sit back and I'm going to watch and I'm going to wait.
Housewives of Potomac reality TV star Wendy Osefo and her husband Edward facing several counts of insurance fraud were outside of their home where deputies say they reported that burglary last year, and where deputies also say the couple was arrested on Thursday.
Now, here's the thing about insurance fraud. Depending on how her home, what do y'all call it? Home insurance, her mortgage insurance. If she has that coverage baked in, if you're fraudulent, I hope you didn't put yourself in a position to lose your home. To lose your home, to have your home insured. Does that make sense? I hope. That's all I'm saying.
The Osefos claim that designer handbags and jewelry valued at more than $200,000 were missing from the primary residence bedroom upstairs.
Real Housewives of Potomac star Wendy Osefo and her husband Edward, or Eddie, accused of filing false insurance claims for dozens of items they say were reported stolen during an April 2024 burglary.
Patrol deputies and detectives found no signs of forced entry or physical evidence of a burglary.
Carroll County Sheriff James DeWeese says weeks after the reported burglary, detectives spotted a diamond anniversary band the couple claimed was stolen on Wendy in one of her social media posts.
There's 3 separate insurance companies that they use to insure specific items, and I believe they tried to claim specifically the diamond wedding band twice.
He says there are also emails between the couple where Edward asked Wendy if there are any additional high-value items to add to their list to exceed their insurance policy maximum. The couple was arrested in their home on Thursday.
During the arrest, an additional 15 items that were believed to be reported stolen by the Osefos during the initial report were also located during that search and seizure warrant. Those items included jewelry and high-end handbags.
The Forefront PR Group releasing a statement on behalf of the couple to WBAL TV saying in part, Dr. Wendy Osefo and her husband Edward are back home with their family and in good spirits. They're grateful for the outpouring of concern and support and look forward to their day in court. Both Wendy and Edward are facing several counts of insurance fraud and conspiracy to commit insurance fraud. They are set to go before a judge on November 7th. In Carroll County, Tori Yorgi, WBAL TV 11 News.
So if you think about, that's crazy. Wendy's very sharp enough to know, let's get 3 different policies so that we go undetected, according to the investigator, right? He said, no, they had separate policies and they made a claim on each of them. They better hope that they didn't get that house fraudulently. I'm telling you, and listen, the email that they were able to comb through, they have access to all of your information. I learned that, I repeat myself, in the Diddy trial from the forensic data analysts that testified. Queen Sheba, what do you mean they can get in my email? Are they in here now? No, not unless your name came up or comes up like Wendy's name have come up. And then they just use their powers as big brother and go right in there. Wendy didn't give them that email. That's how much access they have to us. They go right in. That's what they did with Diddy. Extracted all of the audio, got everything. Was able to get in those emails exchanged between Wendy and her husband, where Eddie is saying, let's rack it up. Can we add? Can I add this? Can I add that? They are probably doing a forensic analysis right now, seeing where does this rabbit hole lead to? What's really going on with these people? Did Happy Eddie acquire this cannabis dispensary legally or illegally? Because at this point, you must call everything into question. Are y'all following me? She didn't know when to stop. I'm not saying that it's right or wrong. She didn't know when to stop. She got a taste of freedom. She got a taste of the Real Housewives of Potomac. She got a taste of what it feels like to be that, even though she was not that. And then had the nerve to try to clown Brooke Ashley, another YouTuber here on YouTube, who's never said anything sideways about her, always supported her. And Wendy seems to have a problem with women that are really out here getting it. Women that are out here, the real deal, whether y'all like their personality or not. How you gonna come at a YouTuber that has done nothing but support you? And look how quick God spun the block. Because right after she attacked Brooke Ashley and said some not so nice things, and not only that, you clowned that girl in front of her mom, and they came to support you. They were looking for you. Called her a mean girl right in front of her mom. Listen, diabolical. Took pictures with her, smiled with her, and then at the end, like she did Giselle's daughters, looked at her and said, "You're mean." No, you're just mad because she's the real deal. She may not live in Potomac. She may not have the wigs and the glam and the glitz, but she is exactly who she says she is. And you seem to have a problem with women that have clean hands. You better hope that there is nothing else that you and Eddie have done. I'm not wishing bad on him. We just break it down. I'm shocked, but I'm not shocked, but I am shocked. Anybody else shocked? Just saying, 08 says, I love Queen Sheba. You will definitely mess a name up. I will. Or give a new name altogether all the time. So please pardon me. What is it? Osefo? Yeah, she called Karen uneducated. But Karen is still the grand dame. She may not be laced up in education, but that doesn't give value or take away value from anybody. That's why I didn't like her. She wanted to talk about Karen's drinking. Karen's this. Talk about your shit. What's going on with you? Frank Ernesto Maldonado says she called Karen uneducated at the first reunion. She doesn't, and said that she doesn't have degrees. Karen is older and fabulous. Exactly. And if the truth be told, during the time when Karen married, she didn't need to have one. Now, Karen married well. Karen didn't have to finesse Ray like you had to finesse Eddie out of his birthright. Come on, y'all. We can go there. You really didn't get Eddie, honestly, because his family rejected you. They didn't feel like you had the proper background and upbringing to marry into their Nigerian, and help me out, their Nigerian culture. Thank you for the super chat. Live Well LA. Thank you for the 5-piece and a pepper. She says, wait, can they even keep a mortgage if they can't be approved for insurance? Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Literally, Live Well LA. She just opened up a can of worms. They're going to do a forensic analysis on them. They are going to, what do you call it when you cut something open when we used to dissect? They're going to dissect everything. She should be nervous. I would have never given a statement, we're in good spirits. See, that's the narcissism of it. We're in good spirits. We're back home with our family. That's all I would have gave. Good spirits? Oh, okay. You playing in these people's faces. Charjay, thank you for the 5-piece and a pepper. She says, yes, I try to. And I want to come back, y'all. I want to let y'all marinate in this. I'm going to come back and break down the court documents. I like to dissect and give different segments so we can really go in. And after I break down the court documents in the next segment, I'm going to open up the lines for you all to call in or come up and share your opinion. Marie says, psychologically, as African immigrants, pressure to fit in and prove success may have led them to chase symbols of wealth. No, I think she's been doing it before. Oh, are you talking about Wendy and her mom or Wendy and Eddie? I think Wendy has been groomed by her mother to be a fraud. That's what I believe. And I rebuke you, Wendy's mama, if you're listening to this. No, show her in the name of Jesus. I bind any spell that you may cast in the name of Jesus. Don't play with me, lady. Thank you, Ms. Veru. 32 McGee gifted 5 Queen Sheba to all in memberships. Listen, if you got a notification that you are now a paid member, you better thank Ms. Veru. She just did that for you. She just did that for you. Live Well LA, thank you for the 5-piece and a pepper. She said, with their education / licenses, the money they stole is pennies to what they could have actually earned. Hell, do they really have those licenses? Now that we're thinking about it, and the Simon Gabodia of it all, are you who you say you are? Because now I'm looking crazy, and you better hope Donald Trump does not deport you, because you know he about that life. And this is Wendy and Eddie returning home after they were released from jail. So their court appointment is November 7th, and this is them returning home. Here we go. After they posted bond. Now, the camera's a little shaky from the camera guy, but that's okay. This is just to give you some exclusive footage of them coming in from the jailhouse. Where is he going? There you go. That's Eddie going in, letting down the garage door. That's crazy, y'all. Is that not? Well, stay tuned. I'll definitely be tuned in. Oh, y'all, did y'all see? Did it show or no? Yeah, it showed. I'll definitely be tuned in. I'm going to be following this. We're going to hone in on the psychological and the behavioral traits of the Black experience. I will not be shocked if there's more to come. All right. Happy Sunday, everybody. I am going to take a break and go to brunch really quick. And then I'm going to comb through those legal documents. A forensic audit. Thank you. Texas Lauren, welcome. This is real bad. Texas Lauren said 2 highly educated individuals, one of which is the legal system and the other in education. This is bad, y'all. It really is. And let me tell you something. Insurance companies don't even want to pay us when they know, hey, I pay for coverage every month. What you mean you're not going to cover What you mean? When we're right, well within our right to get a payout, right? You know there's a high probability. I believe that they're going to make an example out of her. Hell, we barely can get what our due when we make justified claims. And you think they finna let Happy Eddie and Zen Win make a fool out of them? Like my grandma would say, getting away scot-free with $500,000? Hell to the no. Y'all, I just like to give you a little bit of humor. Hell to the no. If it were your insurance company, wouldn't you go after them? Exactly. Mm-mm. And in the words of Aunt Esther, you all should be ashamed.
You all should be ashamed. How can you drink right after a funeral? Like this? Give me another one, then, Brady. Fred Sanford, you just left the house of the Lord, and now I'm in my house. All y'all ought to be ashamed, drinking like a school of fish. My Bible says, be not drunk with wine. What does it say about scotch? Listen. Yeah, so why'd you go someplace else? Why'd you go ugly up somebody else's house? Who you calling ugly, sucker? You.